Hello and welcome to our podcast again.
Hello, everyone.
So, so today we are going to primarily just do an update on what's been going on with the Knights of Malta and the projects that we've got going on within our Megacity project. And so, Resin, what has been happening generally with KOM and trying to increase our membership?
Sure. We've had a couple of changes in the way that we've structured a lot of the activities. So because there's a couple of different projects, you've got Knights of Malta Megacity, you have the Knights Order Guild, you have the Genesis NFTs. We also have this podcast, which you've beautifully hosted. And then we have the merchandise shop. So what we've done is kind of move some responsibility around. So Nizza is now taking over the city building part of the mega city because he does a fantastic job of setting up roads, hollow buildings, and generally harassing people to go and buy some tiles. Um, and then DB is now taking over the main operations of TKO. So he's setting up some things like poker night,
Okay.
which we've already trialed, and it was actually a lot of fun. It wasn't real money, obviously, but we're
Right.
looking into some aspects of that, and it was great. The guys really loved it. Just getting to know one another and having a bit of banter. I lost first thing. I just was like, "Oh, this is taking way too long." So I was like, "I'll go all in." I get
Uh,
impatient, so you know.
right. Uh,
And then obviously because I've created the NFT project, I'm focusing more on that. So onboarding new members with, trying to get some more benefits in there for people. We've got a referral program now. So if you get someone to mint one, then you get one for free yourself, which is
oh,
great.
nice.
And
Nice.
still backed by the 50 tier one tiles. And then as well, we've already had a couple of rewards already. So you would have
Okay.
seen that when you sent me your wallet address and got an extra one just for supporting us. So that's what it's all about.
Nice.
Um, and then you're obviously taking over from the podcast side of things. So a bit less on my hands now, which is great. And I really appreciate it. I'm still here, obviously.
Oh
And
yeah.
then Wolverick set up a merch shop as well, and really looking forward to seeing all the merch that people get. I love the mug. Wake up first thing in the morning, have my coffee, and then I go raiding. It's fantastic.
I'm going to try and get that up. I had a screen set up for that and it's not
Yeah.
showing.
Oh dear.
Uh Hold on a second here.
Yeah, Mars Bar's already gotten her mug and t-shirt. I tried to get her to show me the t-shirt how it fits, but I think she was a bit shy on that one. So
Okay. Um let's see here.
another
Good
thing I'm
news.
looking at to Builder, I'm looking at doing a little bit of a tournament for token holders as well.
Okay.
So there we go.
There we go.
My morning coffee and I go raiding.
Yes, so I got the merch store up here and um the mug. My order is I got a notice that my order is delayed.
Because
Yeah.
I think Mars Bar got hers. She's in the US as well, and she's
Uh-huh.
already gotten hers. So maybe it's because you're on an island.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
You did mention that before. You got a
yes.
few issues with your postal
Yeah,
service there.
sometimes. It depends upon what the shipping is that whether or not. So yeah, we got the merch store up and that's looking good. So
Yeah.
um and let's see. Um I lost where we were at for a moment.
I was talking about So I was doing a little bit of digging around what kind of games we could play, a little bit of
Right,
competition style.
right,
And the hardest thing is a lot of these games, you have to consider whether, and Earth 2 will have to consider this as well, which they already have with rating. So being cross-platform,
right.
so being able to utilize that on PC, on mobile, and the other thing that you got to consider too, because you've got Roblox and Minecraft, which are so big, because you can play it on a console, right? That's what the
Oh,
kids are using.
right,
Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. I don't know what's the latest Nintendo these days. I'm so out of touch with consoles.
right.
Uh,
I've
put
never
my
had one.
no, we've got our grown-up pants on.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's one thing that you really have to consider for mass adoption, because that's where a lot of these kids don't want to muck around with, you know, buying a PC, having to stay up to date with the hardware
right,
side of things and the software side of things as well. So you can quite easily just buy a console. It's easy peasy Japanesey. You don't have to worry about it, you know.
right.
So I think Earth 2 probably needs to consider things like that as well, for E2V1 especially.
I think so. I think it will be because when it goes to the cloud app
Mm,
platform, the standalone platform, I think it'll probably be applicable across all platforms.
mm,
Generally it is, but not necessarily. So
mm. I think well, Unity, if that's what we're using with Earth 2, it should have that ability to be cross-platform, because we've seen that already
yes,
with a lot of games anyway.
right,
You know, yeah, so the one, there was a couple of things that I was considering, and it is part of my vision, to have that jousting and tournament style
oh yeah,
dueling with, and I did find a game that had like this strategic sort of night battles where, you
right,
know, you could block and and
right.
parry and all the rest of it, but the problem was that you couldn't set up a multiplayer and pick who you're versing and things like that. It was very
Uh,
random, so it didn't really
uh,
work. There might be a PC version. I don't know. I'm not. I want it to be mobile as well, because there's a couple of guys who use mobile quite a lot.
right.
Niza, Viz, they all predominantly use mobile. So, and there's people like, I can't remember. There's a guy from Venezuela we had in there, Arc Zero, I believe. Do you remember him?
I don't recall them right offhand, but go ahead.
Yeah. So he predominantly uses mobile as well. So I want to make
Hmm.
it open to everyone, you know?
Sure. I think more of the younger crowd is
Mm,
mobile, and um,
yeah.
so it's old geezers like me that are still stuck on the PCs.
Hey, you still got a mobile as well.
My fat thumbs just can't hit those small
Uh,
buttons.
yeah. Speaking of thumbs, right? So, I'm really struggling with rating at the moment
Oh.
for a really good reason. It is bloody freezing here in Australia, and my poor fingers, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. The last thing I want to be doing is these cold thumbs just tapping away. No, it's not happening, especially on mobile. Yeah. So
So so how is the account coming? You did a recent update and whatnot. And
yeah.
we've got what? Um, I got it up here a minute. Um, so you've got 97 properties.
Yeah, I've added 8 plots with sidroids on them that have got the rating is maximized. Okay. So what I mean
Okay,
by that is that I will send them out 2, 3 times a day, and every single time they come back, they are full. Okay.
excellent. Yes.
So we did have a vote, and this is the entire point of the project, is that everyone has their say, and there is going to be some clashes in opinions, and that's fine. But I think we're all mature enough to move past that. And we voted. Um, originally I wanted to maximize the potential of the property. So for me to manage it on my own is quite difficult.
Right.
And I wanted to give back to everyone, and everyone said no. We want to keep it all together, and I said no, that's fine. So the alternative was to, as I said, put some really good plots on there for rating. So that's getting around 200 ether a day just from rating from 8 plots,
Nice. That's good.
which, yeah, so you wouldn't get that from just having the plots on the account and just collecting daily. I'd like to
Right.
do more.
Hmm.
And I do plan to put some more on there. At this stage, I'm waiting for civilians to come through first.
Okay. Yeah, I think when we get civilians, it will lighten the load a little bit
Yes, I agree.
because you will have those plots that you already have maximized right now. Well, when
Mm,
you're able to put a civilian on them, then
hmm.
they will be able to start rating automatically and not
That's right.
so
Yeah. And the concern that I initially had was a lot of the other land that isn't on there doesn't really have good rating targets as is.
right.
So to me, it seemed kind of back to front to go, okay, let's put some side roads on there. Let's get civilians and spend all of that essence ether and then not get a return on it. So
Right.
they're all either in active areas or surrounding plots that are maybe not so big.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, no, it does. It does.
Mm,
And even myself, I've gone through. I've I've kind of done what you've done. I've isolated some areas that are good producers, and I'm
mm,
use and I principally just raid with those. And even though I built side droids on everything all over the place and whatnot,
mm,
um, I've got probably 70% of them are inactive now. I've depowered them just be,
mm,
and so I just have about uh, 12, 18 properties that
mm,
I can hit a couple of times a day. They're in some really good spots, and just like you, I send them out. They come back full. I do,
mm.
dispense, send them back out, come back
Yeah,
full. So
yeah,
yeah.
that's it.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome. I was gonna say something, I forget. Yeah, a bit of chatter in the Discord as well. So don't think you spend a great deal of time in the general chat of Earth 2.
okay.
A lot of people are. I mean, some of them started saying this when rating first came out, pushing for the Essence launch because they didn't want to have to put all of this effort in and only get it valued at, whatever the Essence price comes out. They
Right.
feel rather deflated about that. So I think people see that as a chore, kind of like working, I suppose. And it is a grind. It is a real grind if you have to keep going in and click, 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 and you've got hundreds of properties with side roads on it. Yeah, it can take like 30 to 45 minutes per raid, right?
Sure.
So a lot of people going, well, if it's only worth like 1 cent, I'm really wasting my time.
Uh,
Um, so there's a little bit of that, and a lot of people are starting to go, well, they've got their red energy, they've got their class one tiles in the unlocked countries, and they're not spending that red energy now. And now they're kind of at a sweet spot where they're like, okay, I think I can kind of just chill for a bit. I don't have to go as hard with rating. And people just don't seem to be worried because they want those civilians. Okay, they've got their ether ready to spend and they're ready to just set it up automatically. And me specifically, I want to go, yep, set it up, let it go, and then start focusing on the other things that I was doing previously.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that 100%.
Mm.
Um, so uh what's moving on the NFT side? Anything?
So it's been pretty slow, I'll admit.
Yeah.
But you've
I'm
got a lot of people who don't know how to use a crypto wallet.
Right.
You've got a lot of people who don't know how to connect a crypto wallet for starters, or even put any cryptocurrency on that wallet to begin with. So there's a bit of a learning curve there for a lot of people. And there's also a huge barrier, especially with the Earth 2 crowd, where the stigma behind NFTs is they're pointless. Okay.
Right.
And I tweeted out something the other day, and
Yes.
it was funny because I just thought, you think that NFTs are useless, yet you spend thousands of dollars on digital land in Earth 2. I'm
Yes.
like,
Yep.
we're
Yeah.
directly tied to Earth 2. So tell me what's the difference there? You know what I
Right.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that tweet. It's yeah. Uh,
It's frustrating, but that's all part of it. Yeah, we all have to get to these roadblocks, and that's where I feel like I've really hit a massive roadblock. Okay,
okay.
um, because we've gotten 444 minted so far.
Right.
It's only 20 Matic, which at the moment is about 20 USD. Okay.
Right.
Um, and I did another tweet as well. I was like, well, you'd pay more going out to have a meal, right? And
Yep.
go to a restaurant. You'd pay more than 20 USD for a meal at a restaurant, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
Yeah. But, people won't invest 20 USD into an NFT, which is a part of a project, gives you returns, all of this and that. So I think
Sure.
there's a bit of misconception there where, and I spoke about this last time, and there's a lot of noise around the rug pulls. And then there's another terminology that's just come into the Twitter space as well, which I've only just found out. Have you heard of a honeypot before?
I have.
Hmm.
It's I don't know. I can't I've heard the term, but I don't
Hmm.
remember exactly what it was referencing or how it operated.
Okay, so here's how it works, to my understanding, based on I was listening into a couple of the Twitter spaces. So they're
Okay.
kind of what we're doing now on a larger scale, more listeners and whatnot.
Right.
So what projects do is they have the Telegram, which is where they tell all of their buddies, quick, get in here. This is going to go to the moon, things like
Right.
that, right?
Right.
And they get all of these people to put in one Ethereum,
Right.
right? That's the honeypot. Okay. So they get people to jump in early,
Right.
and then they claim all of these things like, oh, we were hacked, or someone scammed us, and all the rest of it. Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so this kind of accumulates, and then they launch the real thing. Okay. So these are like dummy ups to get their
Oh,
funding for the project.
right.
Okay. So I can understand people's hesitation, right? But
Sure.
I'm not talking one Ethereum to buy an NFT. I'm talking $20.
Right.
Like,
I will say
yeah.
right now though, it's because I wanted to take and buy a couple more. And gas fees are astronomical at the moment.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
They wanted so the last time I minted a couple of entities, a couple of KOM Genesis NFTs, it cost me $5 to bridge my
Mm.
Polygon over. Okay.
Yeah, it's funny. Last time you said the gas fees had lowered.
Yeah. Well, I went to bridge last night,
Hmm.
wanted $74
Hmm.
to bridge 50 Polygon.
Hmm. Yep.
This morning I tried it again because I know it can change from time to time.
Yep.
102 for gas fees.
Mm. Hmm.
So that's going to be an issue at the moment. But I think part of it is the market is really down at the moment. I'm not sure if it's anticipation of alt season or what's going on, but yeah,
Mm.
I was because I was really surprised to see the gas fees go back up like that. So I'm not sure
Mm.
why. So that may be an issue at the moment too.
Yeah, that's true. I have had a couple of people, and I reached out to a lot of people
Hmm.
because there was a lot of people that I know are passionate about Earth 2 and they really want to see it succeed and they're absolutely bullish on it. And so I reached out. There's a couple of people who had some crypto, but that could be that they have Ethereum or they have wrapped ETH and they've still like the gas fees, like you say. It's you would spend in gas fees what it would cost you to mint,
Yes.
which to me doesn't seem reasonable. Okay, so fair enough.
No, so and it wasn't because, like I
Mm,
said, it was only a few months ago the last time I minted
mm,
some when I bridged over, it was
mm,
only a couple of dollars. I think the
yeah.
max I paid was like $5, for the gas
Mm,
fees. But
mm,
yeah, right now they're through the ceiling.
mm.
So, what's happening with our spatial project?
Been put on hold for now. I think that was kind of a demonstration. So we've shown the guys in the community what we want to do in the long term in a broader sort of space in this E2V1 sort of setup. So
Right,
the capabilities are there and it's possible. I think that Spatial probably has a little bit of work to do on their development side of things in order for us to make a bit more no code interactivity, that sort of stuff.
right,
Um, so yeah, I could probably ask Nizza that one and see if he's feeling up to doing a little bit more on it. But at this stage, it doesn't have the right sort of setup that we wanted. So we did have that initial launch where we wanted to show everyone what it was all about. And we had
right,
issues left, right, and center. People couldn't talk properly. So it wasn't like Discord voice chat where it was just seamless.
right,
There was a lot of issues with that and that spatial side of things, right?
right,
And then also some people couldn't use it on mobile, for example, which seemed really strange to me.
right,
And there was something to do with, again, spatial side of things of there was too much going on for the mobiles to be able to join in. Okay. So
okay,
I had to join on a PC, for example. I was on the PC and it was lagging. So we had a lot of issues there. And hopefully they once they kind of fix a lot of that stuff, we can keep moving with it, I think. Because
okay.
you've played around in it as well,
Oh
right?
yes, yes, I have. Yes,
Yeah.
I have.
How's that going?
You know what? I haven't touched it a whole lot lately.
Yeah.
And
Probably for the same reasons, right?
yeah, well, I was busy working on other things, trying to learn Blender as well.
Mm.
And but the I found that coding in Unity is can be a bit challenging.
I think coding in generally is challenging. I myself do not like coding at all.
Right?
It's like learning another language.
It
Um,
is. Yes, it
and
is.
to really maximize what you're doing, you need to be fluent, right? That's the
Yep,
whole point of it.
absolutely.
And that takes, as we all know, have you ever tried to learn another language before?
I have.
It takes a long time, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Mm,
If you're not immersed into it to begin with,
mm,
then yes, if you are piecemealing it or you're going to a class
mm,
and you spend an hour every other day, maybe, then it takes a long time. It's
mm,
generally when I was in the service when not we had some courses and where you basically spoke every day in whatever
mm,
language you're learning. And so you learn quicker that way. So,
mm.
but like I said,
Oh yeah.
it's still not easy. It's still not easy.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those things, like you're saying, if you're using it every day, you can learn it quite quickly. Like say,
Right.
for example, if you for some reason are over in an overseas country, obviously you're going to pick up that language rather quickly.
Sure.
Whereas when you talk about coding, not all of us have the opportunity to just sit down and code all day or read
Right.
through that sort of stuff. So I think um, for me, I would be thinking, yeah, if I was back in my teenage years, still living at home, didn't have a job, yeah, that would be something that I could do. But these days, kids and work, and yeah, no, it's
Oh,
not happening for me.
yeah, I hear you. So,
Yeah. But
all
yeah, I
right,
would like to see some more stuff happen with the spatial just while we're waiting for
sure,
E2V1. Because if it has that ease of use and it's seamless the way that Earth 2 is trying to do, then there's no reason why we can't utilize it in a more interactive sort of fashion. I know
excuse me.
Nizza
Yeah,
Nizza's very big on building games and creating these little puzzles and creative sort of things for people to
right.
do, and that's what I want to do with the tokens as well,
Okay,
is get some gameplay sort of activities in there without actually having to build the games ourselves, so we can bounce off different platforms
sure.
and things like that that people enjoy.
Okay, yeah. All right,
Mm. Mm.
excellent. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so anything else to add for our update?
Hmm. Well,
We've
we
covered.
have got we have got there's a little project in French Southern Territories. Now, I haven't told anyone specifically where it is in a public sense yet. We
Okay.
don't want people coming in before we're finished. But it looks like it'll be another project for KOM. It's a massive tile art that Elaine has
Oh,
done.
right.
Have you seen that one?
Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah, that's right. You've got some tiles there.
Yes, I went and
That
helped
is,
boxed it in.
it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I'm actually super proud that she's done that, and I'm so happy that someone's finally, put something in there because it's quite funny. Did you watch the interview that Pacey did with Tech Ops and Zeus?
Right. Uh, what's that? Say again. I didn't understand what you just said a moment.
You know, Pacey.
Yes. Yeah. No, I know
Yeah,
that.
so there was there was a interview with Tech Ops and Zeus. I was meant to be on it, but I fell asleep.
Oh, yes. Yes. I
Um,
watched that. Yes.
yeah, and one of the things that Tech Ops said was what makes a mega city is Tyler.
Yes. Okay.
I mean, that's his opinion. I'll tend to disagree because we don't have a great deal of that in Knights of Malta.
Right.
It's a little bit pricey to do that, unfortunately.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I wanted to set that up in Malta, but we've got it in French Southern Territories, and
Oh,
look, I think it's a good sort of range because that's like down towards the South Pole.
right.
Malta is sort of,
In the mid.
in their, yep. So I think that's kind of a good sort of range in a logistics
Okay.
perspective.
So
Yeah,
are we
something.
so are we setting up a new mega city?
Uh, yeah.
Yes.
Watch this space. Watch this space. Yeah, watch this space. But no, yeah, I'm not letting out any secrets because some people might watch this and go, "Oh, I want to find where that is." Good luck to you because the heat map hasn't updated yet. uh,
Okay. All right.
yeah. So yeah, no, the idea that I had with the Genesis NFTs was, there's a couple of different ideas I had in the works.
Right.
So I just released the referral program,
Okay.
which is a great initiative. And the other
Right.
one that I wanted to get happening was, so I was thinking about some nostalgic games that a lot of people used to play when they were younger.
Uh-huh.
Might not apply to you because you've never had a console. I, I'm just
Gee,
playing.
thanks.
But the couple that came to mind was Mario Kart.
Uh-huh.
Have you ever played that?
Yes, actually I have.
Ah, there you go.
I may not have had a console, but I've had friends that had consoles.
There you
And
go.
and so I have
And that
played them.
and it's a classic, right?
Yes, it is. Oh yeah, we
Um,
love that one.
skill based, definitely skill based.
Yep.
And then another one I would say would be Super Smash Brothers. Did you play that?
Um, Smash, the one you just posted on in the Discord.
Uh, so that one's one that I'm sort of playing with at the moment that we could
Okay.
potentially set up in a tournament style. It has the ability to make friends with people, play those
Uh-huh.
people, and also have spectators as well. So
Okay.
there's that opportunity.
And that is both, that also has a PC platform. You can do it on the
Yes,
PC as well. So
yes, yes.
can you play somebody PC to Android or
Yeah, yeah,
phone?
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
so
So
between
okay.
iPhone, Android, and PC, it's
Okay.
interoperable.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Sorry, I should say cross-platform. Yeah.
yeah, work on. Okay. Excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was looking at it yesterday. I hadn't downloaded it yet,
Mm.
but I was looking at it. So cool.
Yeah. So there's that, and it has a similar style to if anyone had a Nintendo 64 when they were much younger. I think it was
Right.
maybe like 10 when I had a Nintendo 64. So this is a while back now. Um, Getting
Yeah.
old. And then another one that I was thinking about, which is even pre Nintendo 64, is thinking about things like Mortal Kombat, Tekken, Street Fighter.
Right.
Um, those games, when you think about them, it can be competitive because it's not necessarily about how much money you spend or how much time you've played on the game. It's
Right.
just jump straight in. And if you've got the coordination and the ability to maneuver in a strategic sort of format, then
Uh-huh.
anyone can win. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We could also just a thought I'm going to throw out there one not could also
Hmm.
go a competition based off a score if you can't
Hmm.
necessarily fight against somebody.
Hmm. I've got some ideas,
Okay.
and I think moving forward I want to focus less on trying to onboard people because I feel like my reach has gotten to the point now that everything else just needs to sort of fall into place. And then
Right.
what's the saying? Build it and they will come, something
Sure.
like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So now I really want to focus on having fun and really rewarding the guys that we have here because everyone's really come together
Yeah.
and
I think
uh
so.
it yeah, I just get warm fuzzies thinking about it sometimes.
Well,
But
I'll be glad when I'm not nearly as busy. I have no idea how you guys can take and stay in touch so much. I just don't
mm,
seem to find the time to be able to pop in as you know. I pop in and 500 messages have been gone through.
uh,
Wow.
uh, it's all
You
about
know,
those quick thumbs, my friend.
yeah. Well, these things aren't quick.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Okay.
I spend a lot of time on mobile, and somehow I manage to multitask between family commitments and work commitments as well. So
Right.
I don't even know myself how I do it, but
Mm,
it's that drive. I
right.
guess for me is that because I've created so many different things, I always
Right.
want to stay on top of it. So I'm
Right.
kind of like, I need to check this, or I've got this
Right.
great idea. I need to do it now. It's not like a put it aside kind of thing.
It might be that I'm not always I'm very seldom in a position that I can take and pull my phone out
Yeah,
and
that'll do
check.
it.
You know,
Mm,
I'm either driving a tractor or
mm.
when I'm building or I'm working in the shop, Well,
You got your hands full.
yeah, my hands are
Yeah.
full and
Mm.
it's normally quite noisy, so I generally can't hear anything. I mean, when
Well,
you're running saws and planers and stuff like this, or you're driving a tractor through the field, or so,
mm,
yeah. But
you're not like Nizza who sits around. And I feel like I've mentioned Nizza a bit too much on this episode. He's going to be like, "Oh, I love it when you mention my name."
uh,
But he's at work, and it's a very he's got the time to just sit there and whip his phone out. So some
mhm,
people are a little bit more fortunate than others.
right. Yeah, Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
Uh,
yeah, I mean,
it was,
I would.
well, I'm back to working more than I used to. And so
Okay.
when I first got in, when I first got into KOM, whatnot, I was pretty retired at the time.
Yeah,
And so I
sure.
had a lot more time to take it. But I'm back to working in the shop a lot more and doing some stuff on the farm and stuff. And so I'm not as much free time as I used to. But
Yeah,
that's all
that's
good.
it.
It'll change again. So
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
anything to wrap this up with?
Um, yeah, I can't really think of anything else aside from, civilians should be coming soon. Make sure you have your ether balance up and don't be like me and accidentally press that transform button at 25,000 ether. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my gosh.
This is
Oh,
the third time I've done it, and
oh
it's
no.
always when I'm so tired and
Right.
my thumbs are just in automatic pressing mode. I'm just like raid, 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 collect, raid, and then
Transform.
transform. Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll be furiously working to try and get that balance back. But anyway, it is
Uh,
what it is.
I hear you.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else really that's going on. Look forward to the poker night because DB is definitely you have to be there because it is a
Yeah,
blast.
I need to have a couple days warning, so and
Yeah,
I'll schedule some time off. I missed the trial run, and so but
yeah. It was very short notice. It was like a couple of days.
yeah.
But yeah, there you go. Yeah, no, I think that about wraps it up for the
Okay.
episode.
Well, it's been a great day, another good show, and we will see you guys on the other side. Have a
See
good
you
day,
later.
Resin.
You too, man. Cheers.